Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently down 0.34% to 31,296. Ethereum down 1.39% to 1837. My goal is to help you to succeed one trade at a time by combining the strengths of investing and trading to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. Thank you for being a part of our globally extended family. I very much appreciate you being here. What we've really quickly done is to go through the crypto market. We want to get a feeling of how it's changing each and every day. This kind of analysis is really valuable. It allows you to go back to a specific day and see what was happening underneath the hood of the crypto market. Opportunities reset daily, and we can see there's always opportunities in crypto. I've also left helpful links in the description of this video, and you can reach out to me on Twitter and directly message me at any time. After yesterday's video, we had a really big pull down in Bitcoin's price, and it's since recovered. So what could have been going on? A lot of people will say it's the news. For example, the Securities Exchange Commission is probing Binance over its BNB token. And when did all this happen? 2017. Wow, 5 years ago. Good on you, SEC. There's currently no comment from Binance, but of course they have the resources to really take on the SEC. And then we saw a really big uptick in Bitcoin, and of course Bitcoin leads crypto, so we saw crypto moving with it. So what could have caused this? Cynthia Lummis is at it again, and she's doing really well for the crypto industry. Good on you, Cynthia. Senate bill would end SEC's oversight of most crypto and create a $200 tax exemption. This is fantastic news. Basically, what Cynthia is trying to do is to get rid of the SEC and put the CFTC in charge. She's proposing a bill entitled the Responsible Financial Innovation Act. The SEC, or the Securities Exchange Commission, you can think about it like this. When you're a hammer, everything is a nail. So to the SEC, everything is a security. Gary Gensler is on the warpath. He wants to make every single crypto a security. And now why does he want to do that? Because he's a hammer and crypto is a nail. And what he sees with crypto is, you guessed it, everything is a security. Now enter the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. It oversees commodities trading. There's quite a bit of background information in this. Unfortunately, the Securities Act of 1934 is really outdated, and it never proposed or even conceived of a day and age where the internet would take over. What was the internet back in 1934? Horse and buggies were still making their way around. To give you an idea, this is 1934 in Chinatown in New York City. There's a horse, there's a cart, and there's a car. A lot of government policymakers would like you to believe that the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 is absolutely reflective of what happens in society in this current year. It's just not true. The law takes a very long time to catch up with what is happening currently. But yet, Senator Lummis has created a ray of sunshine in the crypto market. Senator Lummis is doing an absolutely fantastic job for crypto. We understand that Bitcoin cannot escape the stock market's gravity, especially when there's negative price momentum within the stock market. They become tightly directionally correlated. That is, they move together. So what did we see yesterday in the US stock markets? Momentum and movement. We saw the fear gauge of the market coming down. This is reaching a first initial support level. There's one underneath it. You notice I've drawn out a line, 2198. I expect I expect fear to get down to around this particular level and then bounce up. Just keep your mind on that line. And in Masterclass students, you'll get this live chart in TM6. So we had a decrease in fear. What does that do to price? It increases it. I'll just zoom in to the NASDAQ 100 so you can see this. This blue line is Bitcoin's fingerprint or Bitcoin's gravity. And you notice what is happening here. Look at this directional correlation. When the stock market goes up, what do we expect? Bitcoin to go up. When the stock market goes down, what do we expect? At the moment, Bitcoin to go down. You can see these directional movements occurring with Bitcoin. And what was happening in the past trading session, the futures came down. And what did Bitcoin do? It came down. It came down a lot. And what happened when the futures started to turn around? When trading was open, the NASDAQ went up. What did Bitcoin do? Yep, you got it. It followed. What you'll find is sometimes Bitcoin leads the NASDAQ. Other times the NASDAQ leads Bitcoin. It is really, really good to keep your eye on this. What do we see here with bond prices? Bond prices came up. What do we see with gold? Gold actually found positive momentum. And what was happening to the dollar? The dollar was coming down. Yields were coming down. Oil was coming down. And there's a certain flattening off of bearish expectations, but we may see more and more bearish expectations coming into the market as we get close to this VIX support. Let's just keep our eye on what happens. Please let me know in the comments, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think fear will continue to fall down? And, for example, price in the NASDAQ 100, economic confidence will continue to rise, perhaps up to this 13,532 level. It's really good to discuss these things. When looking at Bitcoin, we can see that we've got overhead resistance coming in at around the 33,145 mark, and that's quite a bit of resistance. We've been trying to break out of this level of resistance at 1, which is 31,775. And we've seen over time that we've come up towards 1. We haven't quite made it. Up and down, tried to break out of it, didn't get there, tried to break out of it, didn't get there, trying again. This level 1 is a very, very strong level of resistance. And why is it strong? Because of these downward levels of resistance as well. What about the level of support? The level of support at A, which is 28,957, is really strong. It's been hit once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times. The sellers tried to bring the price down, weren't successful. And now we've got positive air. What basically is happening? There is a degree of positive momentum inside the market, but the market is still undecided. It's basically trading in a range. And we know that we don't have any problems with that because we Borsog all over the place. You say, Ken, what is Borsog? Never heard of Borsog. Borsog comes from rule 621. Buy on red, that's the Bor. Sog, sell on green. Borsog. Borsog is part of our NFT collection, and you can see rule 621. And here's Borsog, the price eagle, saying buy on red, sell on green. And why do we buy on red and sell on green? Because it's profitable. I shared a few community trades in yesterday's video, and my computer is still on the fritz. I'm using a backup computer. I finally got one to work, but I'll be solving the PC issue as soon as I possibly can. But I just wanted to read out something that Art said in yesterday's comments. I sincerely hope that people new to investing get your message of starting small and scaling up. It doesn't matter how much you start with. The percentages are the most important thing. There's a lot of good stuff in this particular comment. And Art goes on to say, scaling will get you there, and your account can grow very quickly from a small amount invested. 3-way decisions are so important, and they absolutely are. Another beloved community member reached out, and they did two buys on the 4th and 5th of this month and sold on the 6th. They bought at point number 1, point number 2, and sold at point number 3. And basically, if you add up all of this information here, the buys were $1,999 and the sell was, the combined of this was $2,270. They made $270 or 13.5152%. And that's just in a couple of days that they managed to do that. If they could just roll this over and keep on doing it, the annualized return on investment would be insane. I'm not even going to read it out because it's crazy. So this happened on AVAX just over the span of 2 days. You would be very hard pressed to get any kind of return that gave you 13.52%, especially in the time concerned. But you don't have to start with thousands, and the examples in the previous episode were people just doing small trades. Jay Bripto just reached out and said, I've been taking the rule start small and scale seriously since I got to the trigger section of the masterclass. The trigger section is how to buy and how to sell. I have a few cryptos I'm doing cycle trading with no more than 5 trades each at $10 to $20 each. This is really good stuff. What you want to do is get familiar with it, and that's exactly what Jay goes on to say, with the goal of getting comfortable with the process rather than making a lot of money. Well done, Jay. Still, every sell I have executed has been in excess of 10% profit. This is absolutely fantastic, Jay. Well done. It's the truth of life. You must start small to get big. That is exactly how it works. If you don't look after the pennies, the pounds will not look after themselves. It's a really, really old statement. So when we look at these particular humps and mounds and valleys and depressions and all of those things, they just represent great opportunities. And you can start small, just like Jay did. $10 to $20, that's fine. You don't have to throw tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars into a single trade. It's just not required. Just get the skills. The emotional mastery component is the key skill that you'll need. That beloved community member who bought AVAX, why did they buy AVAX there? Because they knew that this 28,957 range here was really, really strong in Bitcoin. Hang on a second, you say, Ken, the trade with this was in AVAX. Why are you talking about Bitcoin? Because we know no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity, Rule 45. So when Bitcoin came down to this really solid support line, that beloved community member was reaching in. When AVAX confirmed that it was going above, they bought some more AVAX and then they sold near the resistance line. When you look at Bitcoin, it will tell you the story of your beloved alt. Another thing that you can do, you can see the NASDAQ futures were coming down. And what happened to Bitcoin? It came down with it. You can actually use the NASDAQ and Bitcoin to actually confirm each other. And what did we see here? The NASDAQ started to bottom out and then increase. And what did Bitcoin do? You got it. This is a really good thing to keep your mind on. And you say, Ken, why did that thing go flat? What happened? The NASDAQ's really lazy. It doesn't trade on weekends. And it also doesn't trade 24 hours a day, every single day, like crypto. In 1934, they couldn't imagine a market like that. It's pretty amazing. Stock markets used to look like this. People used to read the tape to figure out what the price was. So what does the stock market floor look like now? You got it, not many people in there. And a lot of computers. Invented in 1971, the microprocessor chip by Intel, which started the PC and computing revolution. Crypto technical analysts track investor attention, which is measured by price, which is reality. They're like really, really good detectives. They look at all available data and they say, where could this thing go from a probabilistic stance, understanding there's no certainty in the crypto market because it's just so volatile. What do you notice in this particular chart? There's something really interesting here. Please let me know in the comments. And also, where do you think Bitcoin is going to? What letter or what number? Do you think Bitcoin will be, in the next 24 hours, at or above 1, at or above 2, or below, between 1 and 2? Or do you think it's coming down to A or to B? Please let me know in the comments. And we've got a really supportive community. And Masterclass students, you'll get this live chart in TG34. What do we notice with the longs? The longs are increasing. The shorts are coming out of the market, but they did increase as price came down. They were pretty certain they were going to make a lot of money. And what actually happened? They got liquidated. That's rule 114. Markets penalize certainty. Let's have a look at liquidations. Across the past 24 hours, there were 302.73 million in liquidations occurring across 108,188 positions. In the past 24 hours, 54.92% of total liquidations were long. What about the past 12 hours? About 70% short. What about the past 4 hours? About 72% short. What about the past hour? About 55% short. And when we go down, long, sorry, 55% long. When we go down to have a look at the longs and shorts, we can see that the longs and shorts are always getting liquidated. It's not just one or the other. One beloved community member reached out and said, Ken, is there anything wrong with me going into the market with a gambling fund and going short or going long under leverage? The answer to that is you've said it's a gambling fund, so by definition it means that you're comfortable losing 100% of what you put in. Of course, with derivatives you can lose more than 100%, so if you're comfortable with that, why not? The key is that many people start their crypto voyage and crypto journey not understanding that leverage will actually get them wrecked. It becomes a really nasty wake-up call. If you're just starting out, please buy at spot. Just start small and scale. And it also doesn't trade 24 hours a day, every single day like crypto. In 1934, they couldn't imagine a market like that. It's pretty amazing. Stock markets used to look like this. People used to read the tape to figure out what the price was. So what does the stock market floor look like now? You got it, not many people in there. And a lot of computers. Invented in 1971, the microprocessor chip by Intel, which started the PC and computing revolution. Crypto technical analysts track investor attention, which is measured by price, which is reality. They're like really good detectives. They look at all available data and they say, where could this thing go from a probabilistic stance, understanding there's no certainty in the crypto market because it's just so volatile. What do you notice in this particular chart? There's something really interesting here. Please let me know in the comments. And also, where do you think Bitcoin is going to? What letter or what number? Do you think Bitcoin will be, in the next 24 hours, at or above 1, at or above 2, or below, between 1 and 2? Or do you think it's coming down to A or to B? Please let me know in the comments. And we've got a really supportive community. And Masterclass students, you'll get this live chart in TG34. What do we notice with the longs? The longs are increasing. The shorts are coming out of the market, but they did increase as price came down. They were pretty certain they were going to make a lot of money. And what actually happened? They got liquidated. That's rule 114. Markets penalize certainty. Let's have a look at liquidations. Across the past 24 hours, there were 302.73 million in liquidations occurring across 108,188 positions. In the past 24 hours, 54.92% of total liquidations were long. What about the past 12 hours? About 70% short. What about the past 4 hours? About 72% short. What about the past hour? About 55% short. And when we go down, long, sorry, 55% long. When we go down to have a look at the longs and shorts, we can see that the longs and shorts are always getting liquidated. It's not just one or the other. One beloved community member reached out and said, Ken, is there anything wrong with me going into the market with a gambling fund and going short or going long under leverage? The answer to that is you've said it's a gambling fund, so by definition it means that you're comfortable losing 100% of what you put in. Of course, with derivatives you can lose more than 100%, so if you're comfortable with that, why not? The key is that many people start their crypto voyage and crypto journey not understanding that leverage will actually get them wrecked. It becomes a really nasty wake-up call. If you're just starting out, please buy at spot. Just start small and scale. Instead of gambling, use rule 760, start small and scale. The problem with gambling is that gambling is never about actual money. It's about winning. It's about a thrill. It's about dominating something. And it's a really, really bad place to live. I know a lot of people like to gamble, and if you're a social gambler, of course, okay, that's fine. But statisticians and mathematicians, we don't gamble because we know the probability of winning is so very, very low. But the unfortunate thing is that many people are taught in crypto to go all in and more, and to bet the house, bet the farm, bet the children, bet everything, and they come out on the wrong side. I would suggest rule 14, until an expert, buy at spot. Buying at spot means that you just get to own the crypto that you're buying, and you don't pay daily fees on it, and that's how you tell you're under leverage. If you're paying a daily fee on something, you're under leverage. Looking at Bitcoin's options expiring at the end of June, we can see overall there's a bullish positive momentum, price momentum in the market. We've got calls all the way up to $300,000. We've got a cluster of them around, say $50,000 to $70,000. There are also some bearish bets from $10,000 to $26,000, with the majority around $20,000 to $25,000. The maximum pain price, which is the price that most options expire worthless and cause maximum pain to option holders, is $33,000. This gives us an indication that the professional gamblers inside the crypto market are expecting higher prices towards the end of June. And of course, there are also other market participants as well. But if you look at this, around 70% of options expire worthless. Therefore, it's a big gamble to do this kind of insurance, and options can basically be a form of insurance. When looking at DeFi, total value locked, or TVL, is up 0.47% to 108.13 billion. When confidence gets restored into the DeFi sector, DeFi is going to absolutely explode. Looking at total value locked across all chains, we can see the top 5, or the top 6. Ethereum, BNB, Tron, AVAX, Sol, and Matic are the top 6. Let's have a look at the top performers over the past 24 hours. Chainlink out in front, followed by Arweave, 5.26% up. DCR up 3.95, Leo up 4.22, XEC up 3%, OMG up 2.28%, XRP up 0.78%. We've seen the greatest losses in Solana, down 7.6%, CVX 7.29%, CRV about 6.9%, ICP 6.75%, Rune about 5%, EGLD that was hacked recently down 4.76%, HBAR down 4.71%, Gala down 4.7%. All investors become traders anytime they buy or sell, so putting a small amount of your portfolio to do just these small trades will make you a much, much better investor. And it's not about becoming a millionaire, it's about getting comfortable with the process. And you can make money in any market condition. What crypto technical analysts do, like Jay, is they mark up their charts with the CTKS method, which is specifically designed to capture exponential price action. Then they look outside the market, like what we did with the Nasdaq and the VIX and gold and the dollar and all of those fun things. Then we come back into the crypto market, seeking to find the market's focus, understanding that opportunities reset daily, and enhancing our pattern recognition. We know that if we don't master our emotional control, we'll absolutely subject ourselves to losses that are avoidable. Getting a really good relationship with money is incredibly important, and self-doubt and self-sabotage can absolutely take away from the money that you can make inside the markets. When we've gone through this knowledge staircase, we get up to the trigger section where we absolutely get into buying and selling. And there are many methods to do that, and you can combine any method you want. Just see what works for you. Just enhance your natural style. Looking at the top cryptos, what do we see? Bitcoin's coming up to retest this resistance. It's tried. This is a strong resistance. But what happens when it breaks through that resistance? Please let me know in the comments. It's really important to understand. Ethereum, we can see Ethereum is much, much weaker than Bitcoin. Why is that? Because when the alts bleed, money flows into Bitcoin. This is just the nature. But when Bitcoin gets above a level of resistance and starts to party, the money flows back into the alts. We can also see that Ethereum is following Bitcoin's gravity, as is Binance Coin. XRP is following Bitcoin's gravity, as is Cardano. But what is actually happening with ADA? You can see it's getting over resistance. It's starting to party. Go ADA. And why is that? Because we're coming up to a hard fork, and these hard forks are really, really good events for cryptos. And you can see that's coming up on June 29th. That is the Vassal hard fork, the scaling dApps hard fork. We can see Solana under resistance and following Bitcoin's gravity. Doge is under resistance following Bitcoin's gravity as well. DOT is under resistance but not so far away, not like Ethereum. Getting closer. For example, Bitcoin is quite close. DOT is reasonably close. This gives you a bit of a perspective. And when we look at BNB, we know that the SEC, good old Gary, protecting us very hard, as Beauty would say, is after Binance Coin. And Binance Coin is very, very well resourced, and it has all the money it needs to fight the SEC. What a shame if you think about it. The SEC, instead of embracing crypto, is trying to hurt it, trying to harm it. What a shame. And don't forget, the SEC is going after Binance for what it did in 2017. Why didn't the Securities Exchange Commission put Binance on notice before this? This is a really, really bad state of play. When you've done something half a decade ago and people come after you, wow, that's really rough, isn't it? Let's look at the metaverse. We can see Sand getting up towards that resistance, Axie almost through it, and we can see Decentraland very, very close to that resistance level. We can see Gala just below the resistance level, not as strong as the other three. Engine Coin, still some gap with that resistance. Ape has some gap with the resistance as well. We can see Chiliz just starting to try to get above it, but we know that Chiliz and all of the alts, their fates are tied to Bitcoin. It really comes down to what Bitcoin does. GMT is bypassing very, very tight resistance levels. This is really interesting. Keep your eye on GMT. Let's have a look at some community favorites. We can see NIA getting close to taking out resistance following Bitcoin's gravity. they all follow Bitcoin's gravity, so that's not the issue. The question is, how much do they over-exaggerate the upward price momentum and the downward price momentum? That's why we love alts. Matic is still below resistance. We can see Icon, ICX getting above resistance. Go Icon. This is looking really cool. VRA almost over resistance. Rose still under resistance. KSM very under resistance at the moment. IOTA over resistance and starting to consolidate. Go for it. And IOTEX just a little bit weaker, but starting to get over resistance as well. Let's have a look at some more community favorites. Theta just getting up to resistance. Waves is over resistance, doing a pullback. SHIB is way under resistance. And SHIB was just recently listed on a major exchange, but it hasn't done much, if anything, to SHIB's price. EGLD is selling off because of a hack. Phantom is under resistance, but just kind of getting there closer. CHR. Please let me know, is CHR over or under resistance? It's a really good method for you to get into. You should be able to draw these lines with your eye. What about Loopring? Loopring is above resistance and consolidating. Not looking too bad at all. KNC is above resistance as well and also consolidating, but there's a little bit of negative pressure there. Looking at some more community favorites, we can see Stellar is over resistance. Go Stellar! What about CRB? It's under resistance. AVAX under resistance. And you can see by the trades, even if it's under resistance, it doesn't mean you can't make money on it. You just have to get on the right side of the percentage, not on the right side of the trade. That's a really big difference with crypto. Arweave, a beloved community member, reached out and shared an Arweave trade with me. I'm going to share that with you tomorrow. Let's have a look at this particular pattern. We can see Arweave is very spiky. This could be really good for borsogging. We love to borsog. ZIL is just inching its way over resistance, and Uni getting to the other side of resistance. Let's have a look at FTT, another exchange token. We've seen that FTX token, or FTT, has been really weak for a number of weeks now. Now we can understand it. The SEC is going after Binance. It's probably going to go after FTX as well. Tron is continuing to forge upwards. It's getting a lot of selling resistance at the moment. It can't quite seem to get above this particular level, around 8337. Now that doesn't mean it's not spiking above it, but it wants to move on average above that, up to about 0.9580. So let's have a look at how Tron actually goes. But what we see often when you have cryptos that outperform as Bitcoin is coming down, when Bitcoin starts to revert up, they have a changing of the guards. I've talked about this quite a few times. And for all the masterclass students, please make sure that you watch this daily briefing. It's really important for your studies as well. In the comments, please let me know, where do you think Bitcoin is headed to? It's currently 31,030. Do you think it's coming up to 1, which is about 31,775, up to 2, 3, 4, or 5, or down to A or B, or even lower? Please let me know in the comments. If you're going through a setback at the moment, please always remember that strength follows setbacks. There is no step backward without 2 steps forward. And that's really important to understand. Sometimes it can get really dark in life. I know, I've been through those dark times as well, as have many other beloved community members. And when you think about it, you're always better off for the hard and harsh things that happen in life. They tend to forge enormous strength in you, and that's what it's all about. And another good thing to understand, you are never given more than you can cope with. So whatever is happening in your life, you can cope with it, and the setups are coming. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video, and also subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you as a part of our globally extended KS family. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers, and to the CTKS ambassadors for assisting Masterclass students. And of course, a very big thank you to you for watching and for being part of our global family. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. I've also left helpful links in the description of this video, such as the link to the CryptoTradingKS Masterclass. Please click the link in the description and you can reach out to an ambassador and get 80% off. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care and see you next time. Bye for now.